Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
The Bunker Project, podcast episode number 36.
Ouch.
Welcome back to another episode of The Bunker Project. We're here live to hard drive in the Bunker Bar on Robson Street. I think it's still called the Bunker Bar.
Well, it'll always be the Bunker Bar for me. I mean, come on.
Yeah, me too.
It's
Hey,
I'm all choked up.
Ashley.
Sorry, it's the lack of beer. Oh my God, I don't have any beer in front of me.
So what's
Actually,
this place called now?
She's so good. Pardon?
Apparently it's called the Den.
The dip.
I came in one day and it just said the Den on it, but if you look really close underneath, it still says the Bunker.
Hey, what about
Den.
the outside sign? Does it still say Bunker, or does it say?
So-
It says the Den, but underneath, if you look closely, it says the Bunker.
So what did you do with the Bunker sign?
I don't know. I just came in and they changed it. It was tragic.
So can I?
Cried a little.
Can you tell them that we want the Bunker sign?
Yeah, I told
Wait.
them. I was like, where'd it go? Where'd it go? And
It's a tragedy.
But we can put it
So,
up on,
hey-
on the wall back here.
But that makes us deep undercover in the bunker, but it's also known by a different name. So
Hey, he's somebody's killing a lamb here.
Social underground in here.
It's an underground name, yeah. Unsocial stuff.
I just
Hey,
can't
listen,
work
we
in these
got
conditions.
Somebody, we got
God.
somebody new here.
Dude, come on down.
It's a live.
Hey, there's some seats over there. Just drag one up. What's your name? Kevin has just walked in the room. He has a stylish black outfit with some old jeans and those European
Crocs?
green. Oh, look. But look, he's got holes in his Crocs. Holes in his Crocs. Awesome. But, dude, sit down before we pass. Oh, hey, where's your beer? What's going on?
I'm on the way. I just smelled some food here. I thought this was the kitchen.
Yeah, we do have some lamb for a late guest.
The Den does
Give him a
not
chunk
have
of
a
meat.
kitchen.
No, it's all right. So where do we tune in when I go home?
Oh, hey, you got an iPod? You know about iTunes?
No.
Oh, harsh toes.
I believe in smoke signals.
Okay. So I think you should just sit down and enjoy the show.
I will.
Excellent. This is an impromptu guest. And what's your specialty?
I'm a playwright.
He's a playwright. So
Playwright
he's
maven.
going to be the playwright maven. No. Plot change maven. Plot change maven.
And just so you know, when you do go home, you can check out all the episodes at uncensoredsocialunderground.com.
Yeah.
Uncensored Social Underground.
DACA. Come on.
There you go.
He's not only a playwright, he's a voiceover. Woo.
How do you spell that?
Hey, look at all you have to do is go like Bunker Project Vancouver on Google, and we own like the first three
Yeah,
pages.
just
It's like
Google
such a weird
the
combo.
Bunker Project.
Yeah, Google the Bunker Project Vancouver. If you do just the Bunker Project, you get some weird German dirt. No, it's the first show. Okay, that undistinct voice you're hearing in the background, it's the lamb. It's the lamb, dude. It's the
It was only a
tahini
matter of
sauce.
time.
Tahini sauce.
When
It reminds
the-
me of his old girlfriend. So-
People from the bar straggled in. It was only a matter of time.
Hey, if you listen to the last show, it's relevance. Come on, okay. Nobody respects me, man. It's my nasal voice. I know it.
Hey, it was
Hey.
the last episode was supposed to be the last reference to the nasal voice.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, we're still asking for $1,200 for Bob to get a nasal. Did you see that? The nasal operation request.
Well, I think
PayPal.
I think I have a cheaper solution.
Yeah, this is a very nasty looking guy with one of those funny
Strep
hats.
throat.
So, yeah,
Just get
you're
exposed
messing
to
with this
strep throat
guy.
and that's the solution.
I think what could happen is if Andrew gave you a little bit of his bottom.
I don't like the sound of that already.
What are you talking about?
I mean, in the mics, because Andrew's got the heavy,
Oh, I know. I
the
just got
deeper bottom. You've got the higher high. If you balanced your mics in the middle, it may work.
No, I
And,
prefer the higher high personally.
If you
Hey,
go
we're right on
to-
character apparently.
If you go to uncensoredsocialunderground.com and click on buy a beer,
Oh yeah, you can buy his beer.
then we can afford some Heil PR40s.
We do have an equipment fund.
Heil
That's
PR40s.
Hey, we do have an equipment fund. Hey,
Or
dude,
even
you out of
the,
here?
uh,
Oh,
Yeah, I do have to go.
all right. Well, dude, see you 2 Wednesdays from now.
Yeah. I'll come by. Yeah, I'll bring my guitar next time.
Excellent. We'll bring a special mic.
All right.
Bob, maybe if you sat on the floor and Andrew sat on a high chair.
Yeah. We use
I'll need one of
earthly
those
bass
soon,
resonance.
So, I can bring one in.
All right, look at that. First topic for tonight, if you can believe it. We're like 30 minutes in. Oh, no, only 5 minutes in. So, I just trashed the Facebook migration. So I want to talk about that, guys. None of you knew about this tool? Everybody's like, yeah, we got a room of specialists. They don't know nothing.
I knew about it.
Is this April Fool's joke?
No, but we did have some April Fools. Okay. All right, you guys want an April Fool? Sorry,
No,
Bonnie.
we already did that last week.
Yeah, I know, but I did have one question, which is kind of cool because people haven't had a chance to think about it. April Fools, here we go. Man, somebody's having a good time in the background. Can you guys hear that in the background?
He's like, those guys have microphones.
Yeah, Well, the problem is when I drink, I can't remember what I said. So, I listen to the shows. Oh, wow. I can't believe I said that. Awesome. But this is way too nasally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Real or not?
So wait a minute. Hang on.
Okay,
You're talking about the Facebook migration tool and how people are losing their data when they transfer over to a fan page from a personal page.
Well, yeah.
So
you think that's bad?
Well,
I've grown used to it. It's been like a week. So I said, yeah, whatever. I didn't do it, so who cares?
So people were transferring over
Am I being callous?
to a Facebook.
It's like, oh
fan
my
page.
God, I listened. I lost everything. Hey, that's not me, man. We should try and find somebody. Do you guys know anybody that would do something that stupid? A major thing with a company that's completely psychotic?
Well, only every day.
Yeah. So
At
it
least
did happen.
once.
So it did happen to you.
Not personally, no.
Well, as long as it's
I
not
get the phone
personal.
calls, though.
Yeah. Yeah, shit. Yes, actually, there's some nasty viruses out, but I'm not even going to talk about that. It's because I use a Mac and don't have to worry about them. Does anybody else have a PC?
Oh, what?
Oops. I just took out Bonnie. Hey, by the way, folks, Bonnie is our new Twitter maven. She's a bit of a S disturber because she was sending out some nasty comments last time. We didn't even know about it. And with the peanut gallery caught on, and Bonnie said, it's about time. I don't know if you picked that up
Boring
on the mics last
video
week.
game talk.
Jeez. All right. Real or not?
Apples really do get viruses. It's just that the people who write viruses have long given up because there isn't enough of them.
Well, I think it is the Apple guys. It's not,
that's
not
true.
only that, but most people at Apple are so mellowed out, they just don't even care. So I get a virus. Oh, well, email.
Okay, but
It's harder to write a virus.
PC guys like, oh my God, I got to reformat. I got to get a new power supply. And maybe I should get some neon stuff, maybe.
I was under the belief, though, that Macs were harder to hack because it was harder to code correct virus for them.
No, I think it's something about those really, really cool transparent buttons that are very hard to duplicate. I don't know.
Yes, of course. But on the Windows platform, every file has a couple of resource forks. And those resource forks are like nerves in a tooth. And they are accessible. And that's what gets hacked. In the Mac, there's no resource forks. It's a pretty straight, clean file system.
Damn.
Wow.
What were they thinking? Those Mac guys. What a bunch
That
of
was
jerks. Jeez. Why
was
did you put
amazing.
forks in? How are we going to dominate the market? You just messing it up like that. Jerk.
There's other ways.
Hey, does McAfee and Norton own shares in Microsoft?
That's a very good question. But they're already funding the underground virus
they're like-
writers.
Yeah, that's
They're
what
like-
I thought.
they're like fork
Weren't they the biggest?
manufacturers.
Yeah.
And
your
by the
phone-
way,
That's my phone complaining again.
your phone keeps
Well, it's
vibrating.
it's
So
a
when-
joy phone.
So when was the last time someone got a virus?
Well, listen to me, man. I'm hacking. Oops, sorry.
Whoa!
Sorry, we're gonna beat that sucker out.
what's the time on that?
That's about 14 shows being cleaned. I
Holy
screwed it up.
smokes! My time commitment to this
I think
project just went up.
Hey,
Hey, you know, we could always. We haven't talked about. We haven't
Outrageous.
actually talked about podcasting in a long time. And what we could do is we could
Talk about anything.
we could
above
start
sleep.
using
man.
Pod Producer. We could start using. No, sorry, we are using Pod Producer. We could start using PowerPress,
No way.
and it's a podcasting plugin for WordPress, and that'll allow us to mark individual episodes as explicit.
Rather than having the explicit over everyone.
Yeah, because right now, if I want to mark a certain episode explicit, it's going to mark all the episodes explicit. The downside to marking even one episode explicit using PowerPress, for example, is that in Zune, if you have one episode that's explicit, in Zune, all your episodes will be tagged as explicit. But who's using Zune
Well, I was gonna say,
other than me?
Those 10 people are going to be.
I'm one of the 10 people. I'm on a Windows Windows Phone 7 phone.
That's worth a conversation as well. And if Windows 7 is even going to survive.
Oh, and you know what? We had that conversation, I guess, a couple of weeks
missed
ago, and I would have said, because I hate Windows. Windows Mobile 6.5 was horrible.
Yeah.
I thought you liked it.
No, Windows Phone 7
Yeah.
is very, very good.
It has good reviews, but they've only sold, 1 million phones or so?
Yeah, but you know what? And the thing is, I would have agreed 100% that Windows Phone 7 was dead until the Nokia deal.
Yeah.
With the Nokia deal, and that doesn't mean it's going to be successful in North America, but with the Nokia deal worldwide, by this time next year, Windows Phone 7 will be number 2 on this in terms of market penetration for smartphones.
Okay. Well, if you say so.
Unless all the Nokia, because it depends on how dedicated Nokia fans are to the Symbian operating system. If they still trust and value the Nokia hardware, because Nokia is a great hardware manufacturer, and if that brand loyalty follows through, then
Massive.
it's going to be huge, and you know, Microsoft is counting on that, and not Windows, but Nokia is taking a huge gamble doing this.
But they had to do that because Sony was coming out with the Xperia, right? So, you know, it's basically both those manufacturers against each other.
Well, they had their Migo platform that they were developing,
Yeah.
and they've just abandoned it in favor of going to Windows Phone 7. And they were deciding Android, Windows Phone 7. They went with Windows Phone 7 because Microsoft paid them a huge amount of money. But I think really it saved the platform.
It's a good strategy for
It
sure.
saved the platform.
Yeah.
North America, I don't see it catching on.
Well, I just recently got a game that supposedly can go with your Windows Live phone. So you could play poker on the go.
Well, that's one of the advantages of the Windows Phone 7 platform is it's got built-in Xbox mobile.
Yeah.
So you can play Xbox games right on the phone.
Yeah. as well
And
as-
your avatar and everything transfers over. It's and you can earn your points and badges and all that. I'm not.
and you become kind of exclusive because you're doing that on your mobile phone, right? So if you're an achievement hunter in like Xbox, you'd probably want to get one of those phones, probably.
Yep.
Well, if you're really dedicated to the gaming platform, right? Like you eat, breathe, and sleep games, you're totally going to come with something that can probably play the games that you like.
Let's do a little.
In terms of that, the console is really important to me because it separates me from my Palm Top or my iOS, and it separates me from my laptop. Yeah. And I took gaming off those devices on purpose so I could push it away. I'm on the computer and laptop 16, 17 hours a day. So I push that away. I pick up my Xbox 360, away I go.
Well, then, you know, you should probably get a BlackBerry or an iPhone because those are the two choices you have for that because those are the business phones. So, I mean, Windows Live is awesome and Andrew likes it.
No, I'm not saying I like it.
You don't like it?
I'm okay.
Well, no, I'm just asking a question. What's your preference?
My
Do you like
preference is Android.
You love
Android, 100%.
Yeah.
That's an interesting conversation. Goes right back to the Windows vulnerability to viruses, and the Apple devices, the OS 10, and how it's less vulnerable to viruses, and that follows through on their iOS mobile devices. And that's one of the reasons why I just mentioned earlier that as an iOS fan, I am against having Flash on my iOS device, even if they do make it readily available. Just that Flash being so exploitable, they could take over the phone. But on the Android and Windows 7, it being a more open SDK, it's obviously by nature going to be a lot more vulnerable to viruses than an iOS.
I mean, this conversation will probably change in a couple of years when HTML5 is
More cemented.
cemented and people have developed.
Come on, HTML5. That's pretty new stuff, guys.
Bob's holding out for HTML6.
No,
Anyways.
no, I want HTML10. Come on, I want the 3D HTML.
But I got an interesting article here. This guy he wrote a post on Android versus iOS: the cold hard truth. And according to ComScore, iOS mobile devices captured 25% of the market in February 2011. That's up only slightly from November 2010, despite the introduction of the iPhone on Verizon's network.
Yep.
Now, on the other hand, iOS's biggest competitor in the eyes of many, Google's Android, has grown 7% since November 2010 and now commands 33% of the market for smartphones in the United States. And as venture capitalist Fred Wilson sees it, this is solid proof that everyone should be focusing on Android over iOS. And in a post on his blog, he wrote, "As I've been saying for several years now, I believe the mobile OS market will play out very similarly to Windows and Macintosh, and with Android in the role of Windows. And if you want to be in front of the largest number of users, you need to be on Android."
That's only going to be North America, though.
Now, this guy who wrote this article says that this is the reason why everything that this guy says is wrong. And what he says is that really it doesn't matter who has the most market share. It matters where you're going to sell your apps. And as a developer, you don't care if one market has more exposure than the other. Like for instance, if you have a super niche product, are you going to buy a advertising spot in the Super Bowl just because it has more exposure? No, you're not. And the demographics for iPhone users versus Android users currently are quite different. And if you're into games, you're probably going to want to develop for the iOS because that's where people are buying the games.
Yeah, but with Amazon jumping into the Android store now, it's going to make for a level playing field. I mean, like Angry Birds makes just as much in a day as it probably does on the iStore, probably more actually from free advertising.
Oh, I know.
With their just trial pay or the free game that they give for the Android.
And I'm playing them.
If I'm a person and I'm looking for a handset and I've heard about Angry Birds, which is, pretty much everybody has.
Hey, hang on. What's this Angry Bird?
We talked about it last show about how everybody was doing April Fool's jokes to copy it. So it's free on Android.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But what it's
But
like
Android,
Angry
what is it?
Birds or something? It's like a bunch of penguins?
Birds fighting pigs, crashing into stuff. It's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Has anybody else heard about this?
Not me. I heard about Owly or whatever it's called. Owly
Oh, that's Hootsuite. I mean, it's like a social media
I heard about
program or
that. I got
something.
an
It's
email-
like
I got an
Angry Birds, and they like tweet out to everybody. It's like, blah, blah, blah. And you get a different sized burst that like really go into somebody's database.
Pretty much.
Actually,
it's
that
almost
would be an
identical.
Actually, I
awesome
finished,
version of that.
I finished Angry Birds.
You finished it.
I finished it.
That's
yeah.
a good
What's the finish? I
And
thought it
now I
was
started playing these extra levels that I got. And
So you haven't finished.
You got to get Angry
You know,
Birds real.
I finished Angry
No, I
Birds.
haven't done that
Please, that's an oxymoron.
That was
It's
actually-
going on forever, guys. They're gonna milk that sucker. Yeah, like 11, 12 million bucks a year. It's like, yeah, maybe we should do it again.
Angry Birds is the only selling movie game to actually
Movie game.
Well, yeah, based with a movie because Rio's coming out on an TV show, right? So they actually sold, I think it's like ton of games in their first couple weeks.
Yeah.
So it's actually profitable more.
Yeah, they're gonna make more money with the residuals big time. I'm waiting for the Angry Birds softy cushy toys. What do you call those?
They have those already. You can get a hoodie.
Oh, yeah,
with
no,
an
The
right
Angry
on-
world it just
right from the
spins
app.
so much faster than
right
Bob.
right from the app, you can order those teddy bear Angry Birds.
Yeah, what's a technical term though? That's what I want to know. A plushie. Who said plushie?
Ryan did.
It's the guy that eats.
That is
goat or
that is what it
something?
says right on the app. You can order your plushies.
Oh yeah, it's great
That
marketing.
is a
for them.
goat CD.
Anyways, just I know Bonnie, you were talking about Androids a few weeks ago on the Bunker Project, and
She loves Android. Are you kidding? She's been struggling, but she loves it.
No,
No, you don't love it anymore.
no, I do.
Ah,
In
you're
fact,
not struggling anymore.
no, I ordered an Android tab, which will be here next week.
Bonnie,
Because
Mike.
I don't get to stand in front of an Android store.
Oh,
I have
here
to
we
wait.
go.
I have to order it online and then wait for the UPS guy to
No.
show up.
Now, when you're ordering online, do you like order like weeks and weeks ahead and then put a little tent and wait for the store to open?
I'm thinking about doing that actually, sitting out in my garden and taking some kind of movie and just watching me.
That'd be great. That'd be
Yeah.
a great movie. Go to a corner store somewhere downtown, put up a tent, and say, "What are you doing?" I'm waiting for the new edition of Microsoft Excel to come out.
it's hilarious. You know, our we've been selling, of course, the iPhone 4s, right? And finally, our inventory person said, "Oh, you know, we're done with this BS of with the inventory problem and all this kind of stuff."
get
And then I
millions.
said, "Oh yeah, we're done now, but the iPhone 5 is coming out in a couple of months." And she's like, "I forgot about that."
Are you sure the 5's coming out?
Oh yeah, and you know what? The 5, it's going to be the size of a postage stamp.
Yeah, it's coming out for sure.
So actually, it was a Sony executive that actually supposedly leaked it. Was the last thing. I joke about it all the time.
Well, there's all these rumors.
Hey, don't
There's
pick
all
on
these-
guys that are drunk. Come
all-
on,
there's
it's not
all-
fair.
You know, I'm not too sure. Apple doesn't have a reason to come out with a 5.
Hang on for a second. This
They-
sounds
well,
like
here,
it's
They could easily
conspiracy
put off a year.
maven
No, they're not putting
territory.
out the-
if I ever-
Apple is consistent with their product development. They come
They're
out with
consistent
a new
with
version
their
every
PR.
single
There's no
year.
reason.
Fake
There's
releases.
no reason at all for the 5 to come out this year. No reason at all.
Sure,
Well, yeah,
sure
price
there is,
point.
Sure, there is
To
competition.
capture the
is
people that
reason.
are running out of their contracts.
it's price point.
It's they don't have to worry about that. The iPhone has the highest ARPU in the
ARPU?
industry, big time.
Hang on, is that a technical term?
Yeah, average
All right,
revenue
so
per,
we'll
per
in the
user.
show notes we'll say ARPU and
Apple
that's
makes
a
Apple make-
Wikipedia 5-page explanation.
I have to hear ARPU
With
every,
legal disclaimer.
every, couple of months. That word.
Apple makes the most money on every sale of every unit, up to $600,
Including
That's
music.
what they make. And BlackBerry, for instance, gives away too, so that skews the industry big time. But Apple and the iOS being so tied to iTunes valuation is larger than Coca-Cola internationally.
Yeah, but Coca-Cola is a pretty small
iTunes
company.
alone, just embedded within
Yeah.
Apple and based on the iOS.
Speaking of iTunes, Google is coming out very soon with Google Music, which is a cloud-based music store.
And Amazon too.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, what was was it who was the new guys that had the new you could go get like 5 gigs or something? Is it Yahoo
SoundCloud?
or
That's Amazon. That's
Amazon?
what,
That was it. Yeah, Amazon.
That's the Amazon Cloud Drive.
yeah, it's so did
But
you
it's
know
not available in Canada.
Yeah, well, typical.
You know, that's like the
But you know, if you
ongoing
bought
thing.
a CD though, you get 20. So basically, you go like, okay, so I get 5 gigs for
Well,
free, and I'll
you
buy
know,
a CD, and I
SkyDrive-
get 20 gigs for the year. Cool.
SkyDrive it gives you 15 or 20, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you got the but
Yeah,
you
Columbia
get
House.
Musicas on the other
And you
one.
commit to buying 10 more
Man,
over
there's
the next 3 years. And
The interesting thing about these SoundCloud devices, storage devices, is that it's unlimited downloads.
Yep.
Whereas in the iTunes store, you can't with that.
Yeah, you
So
can
they-
send it as many
this
people as you
still
like.
helps out the whole Apple ethos of music with these SoundClouds. It still will drive sales, but now I'm looking at streaming music from SoundCloud storage devices into and through websites, which is quite interesting because then we don't have to deal with the royalties, of course, because they're coming from private account. Hope that works.
So there you go, everybody. Yet another technique. So that was a political cough, by the way. That wasn't me, really.
James is trying to talk into his microphone on his headset. but he's not mic'd
Attaboy,
up.
James.
It's just like at home.
Team left, team left. Take those guys out. Take those guys out. You know, we're lucky because we could be dead by now. All right. I've got James. Were you going to say something before I bring up a totally new subject that I don't know about? Oh, Windows 8. What's up with that? Those are my notes.
Who cares?
Oh, well, we got one. Who cares? Andrew, come on. You're a big Windows dude.
No, I'm not.
What are you talking about? You got a Macintosh, MacBook, running Windows in front of me.
And the only reason for that is because the
Software, right?
the software that I'm using to
There you go. It's a
I like
classic
I
argument.
like using Pod Producer, and I like having the option of using Mac or Windows. So I have Boot Camp on here.
So you swing both ways. Yeah, with computers.
With computers, yes.
Jeez. Stay with the context. It wasn't that big of a... Maybe it was.
So I am.
Sorry, and just a comment on that. That setup you have there is
man.
probably the best way to have a computer running. Apple, bar none, makes the best hardware, bar none. This laptop in my bag is a milled block of aluminum, and you don't find that in a lot of other plastic style laptops. If you can run Windows, if that's your favorite, that's what you need to do. If you can run it on the best hardware, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Apparently,
And,
Windows
you know,
runs better on Macs than on other PCs.
except for there's some exceptions to that.
What, like
some
Vista?
software?
Vista
for
won't
instance-
run on anything?
No. Like there's one example I have.
A
Valerie.
Cray supercomputer, I think. Really wails
Valerie
with-
has certain software she has to run for her CMA program. She's taking certified.
But that'll be PC based, right?
Yeah, it's PC based, but it won't run on a Mac running Windows for I don't know why.
It needs
Typical.
the math coprocessor on that, the FPU probably,
So it's a mix.
or something that the
well, that
Sounds like a mix
explains it. Now I know.
minus. There you go.
something with the math and the chip that the Mac is set up. It doesn't.
Chip
jive with that
Maven,
window.
Chip Maven.
So bean counters, the Mac
We're
is
going
not for
deep
bean
today,
counters.
deep,
It's for
deep, deep.
creative types and stuff like that.
No,
But hang on,
wouldn't say
hang on.
that.
Creative types and stuff like that. That's my territory.
it's more like stuff like that.
It's more like
Yeah.
vague innuendos. Stuff like that is way too specific. Stuff.
Well, iMovie is
Meh.
pretty cool
lots of stuff.
on the Mac. I've been playing with that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I think with Mac software, the GarageBand's the biggest piece of junk around.
You're a big fan of GarageBand. What are you talking about?
No, come on. Look, I'd have to go to Audacity to edit because that's great for editing, and then you'd have to import it into GarageBand to do the final production, and I can do all that on
Audition.
Audition, which has just been ported over to Mac. Free, beta, check it out. $300 program. Sweet. I love the
Audition is awesome.
Photoshop version of a wave stream. It's like, wow. That's what it looks like in Photoshop.
Wavestream. What are you talking
Well,
about?
it just takes your recorded music.
Oh,
to the
yeah,
wave,
yeah.
right? And
Yeah,
boom,
the,
converts into this like orange, white, purple. Well, not white.
Yeah,
orange, yellow,
in addition,
purple.
when you're editing your
There's a Photoshop
your
version,
podcast
right?
or your music or whatever you're doing, it brings up this. It's not like a traditional waveform that you'd see in Audacity or GarageBand.
No.
you can see it in the spectrum view. It's called
It's a picture.
It's spectrum, and it is a picture,
Photoshop.
and it is really really cool.
Hey, I'm just harping on Photoshop. Did you notice? Anyways, the reason is it's got Photoshop tools. It's got a big brush.
Yeah.
It's got a
The-
what? This is sound. You got like a bar. The ping pong bar. Yes, no. Make the ball go.
Yeah, what's it
So
called?
basically,
That,
that's it. You got a crop tool.
The square,
Boom.
the crop tool.
The
Yeah.
storyboard. Oh.
Yeah, crop tool.
So like you're going through and I chop this and that, but you go into the photo version. Oh, you got one of those, but what's the point? I mean, you got this paintbrush, and so I don't like that blob of yellow there. That looks like somebody hitting the mic like that, and then boom, you can go and take it out.
Yeah, but
of course we're not be taking it
what's
out.
really
because
cool
it's
with
pointless.
Audition is that let's say you've got this hum in the background, right?
Oh yeah, Subsonics.
Like we have here.
Really? Hang on.
Intermittently, we have it.
Oh yeah,
And
you're right.
what you can do is you see this picture and this frequency and you got the low frequencies at the bottom and the high frequencies at the top. And so you've got all this low hum at the bottom. You can just highlight that
Yeah, you can see it.
in an area of the sound where there isn't anybody talking, where it's just the background.
Yeah, it's different than
You
Those
can
are
take
separate
a
channels.
You can take a
Yeah.
noise,
stereo. Yeah.
record a noise footprint, and then you can go into noise cancellation and cancel that whole
Take it out.
the whole thing out without
Or any
affecting.
percentage.
Yes.
Like it's not only that, it's like, oh, and here's a bunch of tools to make that really subtle.
And if you're taking a lot of it out, like not just the low frequency,
No, you
but
can
you're
mess up
taking
the
a
sound.
high range, you'll if you take too much out, you'll create this artifacting sound.
Yeah, the
in
voices sound
in
really
the
strange
sound.
like this.
And so you can actually reduce the percentage. And I think it's my fault that because I've been doing that on Audacity and it kind of made Bob sound nasally, and he's not really like that in real.
I don't know.
If you've met him in person.
Well, you know.
So it's actually
something to do with my height.
It's actually addition. It's not Bob.
No, it's not. I don't know. You meet Bob in different situations, and he's a different guy. So, oh, I met Bob at a networking. Oh, he was good.
Event, and he's on the floor.
He can do a 10
He's lying
second
on.
elevator
He's lying on the
speech.
floor, or he's being.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Did
being
you- in
lifted up
Facebook, there
over
we have-
some transvestite's head.
It was art. It was art.
What year is this?
Not the transvestite, but the on the floor part. You know, I was.
No,
Yeah, the
that's social
transvestite.
media.
Well, I don't know. She wasn't a transvestite. I can't believe it. It's so embarrassing for her. She's on the Canadian Olympic team.
Oh, yeah,
they
she's
do
a
that.
hermaphrodite.
No, well, maybe. She's like a
Transvestite.
German athlete. I mean, ooh, she was strong. You know, I'm, you know,
She was.
I don't have a deep voice.
She
but
was
I
the
am heavy.
German female
Man,
powerlifting champion.
but you know, blonde,
Female
gorgeous, man.
powerlifting
Check out my
champion.
Facebook account. You know, friend me. So, anyways, Windows 8. So that was a bit of a dead end because what Windows 8. Right.
Interesting thought too. Now Mac OS 10 years old.
Really?
There you go. Yeah.
Hey, what was that? Was that? Oh, yeah, Vancouver's 100
Hey,
or
by the
something.
way, yeah, I was gonna,
March.
I
Hey,
beat you.
today-
I win a beer.
Today is Vancouver's 125th birthday, and there's parties.
Yeah,
all
so
over
if you
town,
say it
but
first.
we're here in the den.
Did you hear this though, Andrew?
We're here in the den doing the bunker
the
project.
macaroni. I tell you.
Hey, you know what? They're talking about.
Hang on,
They're
I
talking
had-
about bringing couches back here and stuff. That's pretty cool.
I
In
don't
the
know.
den.
They're looking at
Use a kitchen,
used
too.
hotel equipment. That's what they're looking at. So we'll
Yeah,
see what
but
happens.
then they needed to do if they wanted to
Do you
do that
find
they
these
needed to do a
chairs
much
more
bigger
comfortable?
reno. Oh yeah,
These
these are great chairs.
Not bad.
These are even
The
better.
problem is that we're leaning on them and not using a posture. And I'm in a lot
These
of
are even
pain.
better than the St. Regis chairs.
I don't know, I think we should have lean back office style chairs. For a bar, that's kind of weird, but hey.
Yeah.
Hey, the Google like button. Who's tried that? Really, it's a beta. Just came out.
No,
Really, are you avoiding it? You know about it, but you're avoiding it.
the one that's in Google Reader, or like which one are we
But
talking
just
about?
go like when you're on your Google account, you can go into the lab section and start up this thing called the like button. Basically,
Is that like the feeling lucky button?
with Google, I highly doubt it. It's like I said, well, maybe I'll get the formula figured out.
The
And
random
that
site
algorithm is
button.
looking easier now, but no, not even close to that original suggestion, which is a bit tragic.
Oh, we have Stumble Upon now. Take over that.
Yeah. Stumble upon.
All right, so the Google button dead.
That's
just
like crack,
slaughtered.
or used to be anyways.
Okay,
Well,
fine.
that
Jeez.
to me sounds like another Google trying to hop on another bandwagon, like the Facebook like button or something like that. And Google has a lot of great products, but a lot of their stuff seems to kind of be on the coattails of something else.
Well, it's not that it's
True.
on the coattail. It's just so boring that people just redesign
The
and make
design
it
of
interesting, and they go
Google
like,
is
"Hey,
boring.
that's cool," and Google's like,
They're-
"Hey, we made that 4 years ago."
Their products aren't
It just
boring,
looks
but their
different.
design is boring. They've got the like button on YouTube videos.
You know,
Yeah, that's a good
I
point.
really appreciate Google's epic fails, and I think it really lends to the overall character of the company down the road. We have to fail; it's just part of learning.
Hey, if you're not failing,
but you know what?
Are
I
you
also
talking
like
about
how,
Buzz? Is that
Yeah,
what you're
exactly.
bringing?
oh, and Wave, and
Yeah,
Wave.
and Wave, and now Google when they
You know what? If you're not failing, you're not trying.
exactly,
Who said that?
and you can't
Was
appreciate
that the Twitter
success
fail
anyway.
whale?
That was me.
But listen, when they did fail, they came right out and admitted it.
Yeah.
which is almost unprecedented in this climate, right? They come up
Yeah.
and said, "Hey, we really effed up."
Yeah, we
Yeah.
messed up, but we still made
But you
$8
know
billion.
what?
So who
could
cares?
it could have taken off, but
It may
Come on,
be an
Google.
incarnation.
hey, you know
later
when
down the road.
when I saw Wave and I saw that that 2-hour video that you had to watch that demonstration video, and you sit through
Sorry,
that thing and you watch the whole thing, and I was
Is that
like,
the one where they strapped your arms
wow,
down?
that's awesome! I want an invite. And then like months later, I got an invite, and they forgot to give me invites to invite anybody else, so I was using it by myself. And then so I finally I emailed them and all this. I'm like, I got this product. I'd love to use it, but what am I supposed to do with it by myself? And then so I got some email. I got some invites, 7 of them, and I invited a bunch of my friends. And the only person who signed up was Bob, my brother,
Sucker.
all these other people that I sent the invites to. They just said, what's this, and that's it. They didn't.
See, that's what-
here I'm using Wave with Bob, and
That's what Twitter's for, though.
Yeah, but there's a new
'Cause people-
Facebook thing. Is that?
yeah, I agree with you.
'Cause
Instead
people
of
on Facebook-
instead of using my precious 7 invites on just sending them to a bunch of my friends, I should have gone onto Twitter,
Done
and
an
I
email contest.
and I should have found out who were like totally into Wave and are totally want it. Because it turns
And
out
sold
They're
them on
people like
eBay.
you.
it turns
I
out
just
my
put 'em on
brother
eBay.
didn't care.
Invite.
And
Google Wave.
and other people didn't care about it
$17.95.
either.
But they're people like you, and as over time, you'd probably find that you have more.
What do you mean,
common-
people like him? Are you being
They were
prejudiced?
into Google Wave.
Yeah, okay, you got me.
No,
there.
he's saying I should have found people with big eyebrows as well.
Just become a friend of Charlie
Hey,
Sheen.
your goatee grew back. As we've been doing the
I'm
show,
just
that's the
saying-
shocking part.
I'm saying people are really interested in Google Wave.
No way. Come
Apache
on.
Wave now.
Apache
They,
Wave.
they
Apache Wave.
wrote a book.
I mean,
Gina Trapani wrote a book about Wave.
I know. She is well pissed. It's a garage full of books.
I know. So you should have said something because they sent me, I don't know, like 100 of them. right
Really?
away.
We'll give 'em
I
away.
used it a lot.
did you like it?
Well, no,
Of course I did.
I
know
joined
how to use
Bonnie.
it.
I connect
know,
with
you and I
Bonnie
were
with it.
buds.
It's like, but that was it. And that is the problem. Is it wasn't like free
what?
for all. It was invite only.
You know what I think? I think the
And the
Wave.
email
I think the
connect.
Wave
I
could have worked, but the problem is just how I experienced it. It is
Couldn't connect.
they implemented it like they do a lot of their products
Yep.
by invite only, and they only give you a few invites, and then when they did start to roll it out, it was glitchy and it was slow and it was bogged down.
And people didn't, they didn't get into it, right?
No.
They're too busy.
And they needed apps.
People are
they
so
didn't
many.
have enough apps.
Yeah, and the developers, gave up on it, and I think that's the problem.
If they had blended that with Gtalk, I may have been able to use it more. Because I ended up using
Oh,
Gtalk
nice
a
idea.
fair bit, right?
Yeah.
So
Google Talk?
why couldn't I have used all my friends or address book from that, apply it to Wave? It would have been very usable.
Yeah.
So Gtalk to define that in Canada, because we're not in USA, is the ability to call
No.
out or the call.
No.
it's call out.
No,
Yeah,
no. Google Talk is
that a
just,
phone thing?
No. Google Talk
what's
is
the phone thing?
No, Google. That's Google Voice.
A voice.
Google Talk
Talk, who cares?
is like MSN Messenger, and Google.
I'm into the voice.
Then there's Google Phone,
I
which
brought
is
this up
which
several
is,
shows
is
ago.
like
Why isn't
you
everybody
can call
excited?
it Google Voice. We talked in I think it was episode 5. We talked about Google Voice versus Talk to Me.
Yeah, but we brought it up again when I rediscovered it.
Oh, you
Well,
rediscovered it.
I'm exposed to so much stuff that every now and again I rediscover stuff. It's like, oh my god, this Facebook thing, it's amazing, man. You just log in, there's all these people. I've got like 20 friends. Jeez.
You rediscover it twice. Once when you've had a lot of black beer, and the other when you've not.
Well, I don't don't quote me on this, but yes.
Anyways,
Yeah.
anyways,
Anyways. Okay.
the black beer factor definitely plays a role here. Hey, it's
Yeah, well,
funny
this
because
is the second
it's funny
show.
because I left. Back when I discovered because I was looking for a long time to find a application that would allow us to play our podcast on Facebook, and I found RSS Graffiti, And
Now this is old news, ladies
it is
and gentlemen.
it is old news.
We got a lot of press out of that.
But you know,
Podcast
hey,
Answer
You're gonna
Man,
make me
we go-
forget. You're gonna make me forget what I
For
was
what?
going to say.
What?
Okay, we're talking about black beer.
No,
And, we're talking about black beer just now.
It was green beer.
And I discovered this RSS graffiti. I'm like, I tried it and it worked. The play button appeared right in Facebook. And this was something I've been looking for a long time. So I started calling all these other podcast shows like Podcast Answer Man,
Ramen noodle.
the Audacity podcast and stuff. I said, hey, you guys got to check this out. RSS graffiti. And now in a roundabout way, I'm coming back to the black beer. The Ramen Noodle, Daniel Lewis, played my voicemail feedback on his show, and then he said, hey, you know, check out the Bunker Project. They talk about podcasting too, and so if you're for podcasters, it's good, and blah blah blah. And he said they also talk about beer, and I'm not sure how beer and podcasting mix, or if they should mix. And,
The fool. Ramens versus beer? Please. All right.
obviously, he hasn't listened to the show.
I
Because,
like ramen noodles.
It mixes pretty good, doesn't it?
I don't know. By the time I get home, ramen noodles, dangerous combination, you know. Maybe during the show. Hey, let's get some ramen noodles next
Hey,
show.
you know,
Give me
Bob,
tribute, it's a tribute to ramen noodle man.
Bob brought me to this place. He introduced me to this place.
Who?
on
This place? You
Thurlow.
introduced me to this
No, I
place.
introduced you to the Bunker, but there's this place on Thurlow called what's it called?
Therme? Oh, no,
the,
that's
the
in
ramen
Thailand.
noodle place.
Pardon?
The ramen noodle place.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome place.
It is
It's a Japanese ramen.
so good.
It's Tokyo ramen.
Very good if you're into ramen
Yeah,
noodles.
soup with, spaghetti in it. So, I mean, okay, that's a crass North American description, but, if you have good el dente, it's about the same. No, less hoppy, no, weedy.
So we covered all the notes today.
Yeah,
Or
I think so.
We're gonna
Let's talk about black beer,
black beer.
because that's our fallback.
So go back and listen to
Episode, we'll put it in the show notes.
special report with the brewmaster, the head brewmaster of brewmeister.
That was a
as
special
we call
report,
him.
so it's easy to find. Just like special report it, it'll be. We've only got like 2 or 3 or 4. The chocolate show.
By the way,
oh
this-
my gosh!
The special reports you did,
Ouch.
Bob, you're obviously weren't on the black beer at the time of these special reports. They were really good.
In other words, you're not so good during this show.
Well, maybe instead
Hey, what
of
do you
an
think of my?
explicit tag
What do you
on
think
the
of my
podcast, we
2
could just
black
say-
gentlemen in the alley? Have you been watching those? I mean, that's
Well,
a lot of work.
we could
you
say
know.
the
those
drunk thing.
punchlines drags them out of my psyche. What?
We could just say the special reports are. By the way, we have to do another one.
Sponsored by some
we've got
drug
this.
agencies.
We've got somebody who's totally interested in coming on the show. He's a
Who would be interested in doing this?
and maybe we can integrate it in because I was talking with Bonnie earlier. We're going to do hopefully soon. We're going to start doing live broadcasts,
Live streaming video
live streaming video
In
and,
3D.
We're not going to use the
with surround sound
possibly use Ustream or Justin TV. We're not going to use their chat room. We're
in
going to
color
use,
or black and white.
we're going to use Twitter as
Okay,
the only
black and
way that you can communicate with us during the show. So we'll live stream it, and we'll have our using our.
So we're gonna have a
hashtag.
silent video, and people will
No,
be
no,
able
no.
to tweet and say, "Hey, where's my
it's
color?
awesome. It's
What's
It's not
with the
going to be
color?
silent.
Is my
It's
monitor
gonna-
wrong?"
Obviously, it's going to be
live streaming.
Yeah, live streaming. Yeah.
With no audio.
No,
no, of course we're going to have audio.
People watch our feed.
No,
the only way
take
to
the audio
interact
out,
with us-
and we can make it like sepia and make it like old fashioned.
can do whatever we
Alright.
want to the video.
No audio, but we'll
and we can like hold up a plaque.
We'll
Where's
have
that
our
bartender?
We'll have our conspiracy maven
Bob
do
says
the
this.
the closed captioning. He'll type in everything in, and he'll add all these
No,
conspiracy
Micro
theories.
Finch. Micro Finch.
Microfiche.
All right.
Sorry. Come on, the bird. Come on,
It's
the
the
finch.
microfiche.
You know what the
know what the
finch?
There's always microfiche involved in some
They're
spy
much faster
movies.
than pigeons. Oh, never mind.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait a second. Microfiche is flying above the head over here. I can't believe it. Really? He's going. I just got to look it up.
It's any kind of conspiracy
The black dot.
always involves some microfiche.
Well, that's like
The more you say it's-
Google doing the backup from Microfiche.
Yeah.
No, I know what tape. I know it. But that's what you went to the library for.
No, I had to ask the tech maven over here what it was, and he gave me a very systematic description of it, and I was like, oh, that's what microfiche is. Okay.
The microfiche.
The way he described it, actually, I learned something there. I was like, what? That's what it's called?
What
So
did
maybe
he say?
Tony, can you tell people what microfiche is?
It was a very dumb kind of description. I basically described
He dumbed it down for a game maven.
Meh, I guess
These two guys come out and they shoot the other guy in red.
Well, the our maven here had to never mind.
Meh. That's when I guess that's one of those meh moments.
Meh. Meh. Bob's crying.
Bob's gonna crack
Bob's
our ears
crying.
here any second.
I mean, like what? 30 shows it took me to crack up. Holy cow!
All right.
He's lost it.
Oh, he's tapping me. He's patting me on the back now. All right.
It's like a keyboard calf. Cat lol.
Wow.
I think.
He's raffle-copting right now.
It's all the
Well, who wants to sing "Happy Birthday"?
He's almost
for
crocking.
for
He's
Vancouver?
crocking out.
Anybody?
Totally gross.
Bob? What? You want to lead us on, a happy birthday for Vancouver?
No way.
Oh yeah, 5440 is playing
Wow.
down at the Olympic Flame. They had 5440, I believe, playing tonight. And I think tomorrow they'll have a bunch of other cool stuff to celebrate 125 years of Vancouver.
So if you're listening to the show, don't go.
If you're listening, it's too late.
Damn.
It's too late. It's 1 week too late, actually. Oh, and by the way, we haven't set up our Wix page yet. We talked about it last week.
Oh yeah,
we're-
that was like
we're-
a
we're
throw
work-
out to Bob. Oh Bob, just whip up a web page.
Except,
oh yeah, right.
Except I've been whipping it up,
Oh yeah,
and it's
it's
on,
not bad.
It's on its way.
This brings up a conversation I really want to get into.
Oh no!
Sure, we're out of time.
Whip it up.
We'll whip it up. All right. All right. So, social media and bondage. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm shackled to my Twitter.
Oh, harsh tokes.
Well, do we have time to get into this one?
We've got a few minutes left.
Hang on.
yes.
No. Just kidding. Come on.
No, I'm I'm a web developer. I'm a hands-on coder, and when you discuss Wix, and obviously leaves a fellow like me out of the mix.
Not necessarily because.
Yeah, you could do templates.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay. Yeah.
whip
it
up
leaves-
hundreds of templates.
But if we discuss WordPress, it leaves you out of the mix too, doesn't it?
WordPress is also a CMS. Now I'm specializing in CMSs. So yes, I'm a developer. Traditionally, I've been a developer, but really my role is turning into an application manager when I develop a website. Because these new websites, the CMSs, are pluggable with third-party applications. So really, I'm managing a farm of applications under a beautiful skin.
Ooh,
So
beautiful
I like
skin.
that beautiful
that,
skin. Yeah. Is it blue?
now on
Yeah,
Wix,
yeah, blue skin if you like.
the thing with
Bob's
Wix
an
is
avatar
that
You know,
the
that's what I
truth
was
is there is a lot of market out there, and I can't rail against sites like Wix. I can't rail against iWeb or Microsoft Front Page or these things
Or
that
Google.
enable people to whip up sites real quick. They're not really ever going to be a client of mine anyway.
No, absolutely.
So
Well,
I'm
you're
not too
talking
worried about
custom
it.
code. I mean, that's where it's the way to go.
No, these sites are tailored to people who are starting their own site. It's not a company that's starting a site for the like a major company that's starting a site that they need custom design for, right?
Well,
Is that what you're saying?
True, yes. I mean, clients, I get a lot of fallout too from sites like that where clients have maybe started thinking, well, I'm going to build my own site. A lot of people do have the savviness to actually follow through and do that. Wix makes that easy so that they can do it, and that's great. But there are that percentage of people who say, I'm going to do it because that's within my budget.
Yeah.
They start, they fail, then they
It's
call.
the same thing with people who try and do everything on their own, like design work and social media marketing and things like that, and then they realize, wait a minute, I should be working on my business, not in my business. On all these little details, I should be hiring people that know what they're doing, and let them do it. Like people like Bonnie and Bob,
Andrew,
and
Conspiracy Maven.
You know what? Really, the
And
real
code
focus for clients when developing a site, whether it's through Wix or myself, is they have to gather content. And as Bob and I discussed earlier, that is always the choke. Sites will always go long in development because the content's not prepared or ready. So whether you're going to me or Wix, your first major consideration is have to embody what you're going to publish.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, and that's got to be based on your sales revenue for that year. So where I think a lot of companies fail is they'll do that once and say, oh, okay, great, we got this information. Let's start thinking about putting a budget together for a website. And 9 months later, it's like, oh, great, we got $4,000, $7,000.
I think that people can waste.
But the content's out of date by then.
I think that people can waste a lot of time thinking about what their site should look like, and
just do it.
And instead of doing that, they should put the content up there. I think that's what it all comes down to.
Yeah, that's and clients will come to me, and every client without fail, they have a vision of what the site will look like before they have a clear idea of all the content they'll put up. Yeah. And they think that is all you have to do. When in fact, when they sit at my table, I say, forget about the look, forget about the design. First, we're going to work on foundation, compatibility, resource, and function.
And
everything you need.
Now, this is an engineer talking here.
Yeah,
exactly.
So,
exactly. And I
opinions
think
may vary in the
everybody's fallen into that trap. Redesign your if you're in WordPress, redesign your theme, come up with something different, and all this kind of thing. It doesn't matter. Just put the content up, and that's the most important thing. You can always redesign your theme later.
Snap a new design.
And
look at this show. Look what we get away with.
I mean,
it's amazing.
Look at Facebook, for example. That is not a very flashy website. It's a very simple website, but that's all about the content, and that's why it's one of the biggest sites on the internet.
Yep.
It's all content.
Yeah.
Facebook is more about content enablement than it is about content. We're talking two different things here.
Sure.
Facebook is a tool that allows people to connect with each other, whereas we're talking about businesses putting up their own websites and promoting themselves. So when it comes to content, you have to think strategically. There is certain content that is useful for a Twitter or a Facebook feed because it's time sensitive. It's out of date within a week or a month or what have you. But then you have other content as a business that people will need to understand. This describes who you are, what your core is, and what you have to offer. That never really changes, or if it does, it changes very little and slowly over time. So you really have to think about where you're going in terms of development. Some of the things you were saying. For me, what I find, people when they get into the web development field, they're not understanding that they need to consider that this is a long-term marriage. I may start off small, get some stuff out there, get some exposure, but ultimately I have to think about this is a tool that I'm going to be using for the rest of my life or for as long as I'm going to be doing this. How do I plan for something that's going to live that long and draw the attention that it needs to make my business successful?
Well,
absolutely.
And with that very poignant note, we're going to close the show just to piss off everybody. Yeah! And we're going to invite
that was
we're going to invite the Conspiracy Maven.
That was awesome. That was one of the most insightful things.
Have a couple of weeks to
that
think
we've
about
heard
that
on
point.
the show. And the Conspiracy Maven was sitting there thinking the whole time, and then he came out with this awesome stuff. I don't know why you are. I have no idea because I haven't actually.
He loves it. It's a great brand.
I haven't actually heard any conspiracies come out of your mouth, but this guy here keeps saying.
But he was tech maven.
Conspiracy. I branded him, man. Come on. The king of brand.
9/11 was a hoax.
No, I prefer your last statement.
They shot that whole thing on the moon, apparently.
The internet lives on the moon. Yes.
There is no moon. It's just an illusion.
But what about the internet? All right, come on.
It's a series of tubes.
Oh my God! I can't believe we went all the way down to tubes. All right. Well,
so,
we got to wrap it up.
Let's wrap up the show.
We'll end it on tubes.
We're going to end the show right now.
All right.
So
let's hope. Bye.
Bye.
We'll
see you again next week.
Oh darn! We have this lead-up music.
Thanks again to Wix.com for sponsoring the show. Wix.com is actually the most popular web design platform on
even
the planet.
though we don't have to say that.
we don't have to say
They're
that.
such a cool
but
sponsor.
It is.
Say,
and,
don't even mention us.
And Bob was able to whip up a totally new Facebook landing page using their new template.
Yeah, click, click, click. It was done.
Click, click, click. It was done. It was
45
awesome.
minutes was amazing. I had all the content, though.
Check out audible.com.
So if you're listening to the show. That's the big
Audible.com
part.
on our show notes. We'll have a link to.
Hey, what about that phone number? 1-877.
Hey, join us on the show. We're going to be going live soon. So call in and ask a question at 1-877-636-1474. And we will be going live
It's a rumor.
on Justin TV.
It's a
or
rumor.
YouTube
Send us some money.
soon.
We go live faster.
Check us out at our website.
Bye-bye. Whoa.